My life took a turn that I never anticipated when my sister-in-law, who is 18, moved in with my wife, who is 27, and me. This arrangement stemmed from her pursuit of higher education, coupled with her partial scholarship and our desire to assist her family in saving money. Unfortunately, my wife's life was altered drastically due to a severe injury sustained from a fall during a hiking trip 2 years ago. As a result, she lost the use of her limbs, leaving her in a vulnerable state. Despite the challenges we face, my commitment to my wife remains unwavering. We share a profound love, and I am dedicated to supporting her through this difficult journey. Our household also includes our 2 young children, who rely on both of us for care and support. Moreover, my employment offers crucial medical insurance, essential for my wife's ongoing treatment and well-being. However, amidst these trials, the issue of intimacy poses a significant challenge. Approximately a year after her accident, my wife experienced profound emotional distress, fearing abandonment and imagining scenarios where I would seek companionship elsewhere. Admittedly, the strain of balancing work, child care, and assisting in her care left me depleted and struggling to fulfill my own physical needs. Our commitment to navigating this complex situation together led us to explore unconventional solutions. Through therapy and open communication, we arrived at a mutual agreement. My wife facilitates arrangements for me to engage in physical intimacy with other women, devoid of emotional attachment. While this arrangement falls short of my ideal vision for our relationship, it was a decision made in privacy and with the understanding that our primary goal is my wife's eventual recovery. Enter my sister-in-law, who joined our household in September to pursue her university studies. In exchange for lodging and a stipend, she contributes to household chores and childcare when needed. On one particular occasion, when I had plans arranged per our agreement, my sister-in-law was expected to oversee the children's care. The situation took an unexpected turn when my sister-in-law decided to follow me instead of addressing her concerns directly. Instead of engaging in a conversation with her sister or me, she chose to gather evidence and confront me publicly during a family gathering. Her decision not only angered me but also left my wife feeling furious and embarrassed. The tension escalated to the point where my in-laws were ready to intervene physically until my wife clarified the situation to everyone present. While the confrontation shed light on a private aspect of our lives, it was not the manner in which we wished to disclose such sensitive information. I discussed the incident with my wife, and together we agreed that my sister-in-law's actions were unacceptable. Consequently, we made the difficult decision to revoke her living privileges in our home. Despite her pleas and offers to rectify the situation, we stand firm in our resolution. Some may question whether I'm justified in my actions, but I am left pondering what my sister-in-law hoped to achieve by her public outing of me. At best, she risked damaging my marriage, undermining my wife's self-esteem, and unsettling our children, all in the public eye. Such consequences are irreparable, regardless of the perspective one adopts. My decision to remove my sister-in-law from our household was not made lightly. However, her refusal to engage in open dialogue or consider the ramifications of her actions left us with little choice. Perhaps, if she had chosen to communicate with us or her sister directly, the outcome could have been different. Yet, her decision to prioritize her ego over rational discourse led us to this regrettable outcome. The aftermath of my sister-in-law's actions left a rift that will take time to heal. It's clear she didn't consider the long-term repercussions of her impulsive decision, trading years of familial harmony for a fleeting moment of drama. The fallout has cast a shadow over future family gatherings, tarnishing what were once joyous occasions. Reflecting on this, I can't help but marvel at the resilience and selflessness my wife has demonstrated in the face of adversity. She not only copes with the physical challenges of her condition, but also navigates the complexities of our relationship with grace and understanding. Her willingness to entrust our daughter Lily with decisions about her wardrobe speaks volumes about her commitment to fostering independence and self-expression in our children. However, stumbling upon Lily in attire that I deemed inappropriate served as a stark reminder of the need for communication and mutual understanding within our family. While my initial reaction was one of concern, I realized that my wife's decision to empower Lily in selecting her own clothing stemmed from a place of love and trust. Yet, it also highlighted the importance of aligning our parental values and ensuring consistency in our approach to parenting. Confronting my wife about the incident was not about assigning blame, but rather opening a dialogue to address our differing perspectives. It's a testament to the strength of our relationship that we can navigate such challenges with honesty and empathy. Together, we reaffirmed our commitment to supporting each other as partners in both parenting and overcoming obstacles. In hindsight, my sister-in-law's misguided actions serve as a poignant reminder of the fragility of family dynamics and the importance of cherishing the bonds we share. While her intentions may have been fueled by misguided notions of heroism, the true heroes in this story are those who remain steadfast in their love and commitment, even in the face of adversity. The disagreement over our daughter's clothing escalated into a tense argument between my wife and me. While I expressed discomfort with the attire, my wife defended our daughter's right to express herself through her clothing choices, emphasizing her autonomy as a young adult. Our differing perspectives led to a lengthy discussion, during which my wife reluctantly agreed to return the clothes, albeit with the condition that I take sole responsibility for the decision when informing our daughter, Lily. Confronting Lily about the return of the clothes was a challenging moment for me. Despite my reservations, I stood firm in my belief that certain clothing choices, including crop tops, were not suitable for public wear, regardless of trends or peer influences. However, witnessing Lily's disappointment and frustration with my decision weighed heavily on me, prompting feelings of guilt and self-doubt. Reflecting on the situation, I grappled with conflicting emotions. While I held fast to my principles, I couldn't shake the nagging sensation that I may have been too rigid in my approach. Perhaps there was room for compromise, a middle ground where Lily's desire for self-expression could coexist with my parental concerns for her well-being. In the aftermath of our disagreement, Lily's cold demeanor and avoidance of interaction served as a stark reminder of the potential repercussions of my actions. I realized that my desire to uphold certain values should not come at the expense of alienating my own daughter or damaging our relationship. Indeed, the criticism leveled at me for my stance on Lily's clothing choices struck a chord. It prompted introspection and forced me to confront my own biases and preconceptions. Was I inadvertently perpetuating harmful stereotypes about women and their bodies? Was my insistence on control overshadowing my daughter's agency and autonomy? The controversy over our daughter's clothing choices sparked a broader discussion about parental control, individual autonomy, and the dynamics of family relationships. While I maintained my stance on appropriate attire for certain settings, such as conservative churches or formal restaurants, I realized the need for a more nuanced approach. Wholesale removal of my daughter's clothes was not only controlling, but also undermined her agency over her own body. Critics rightly pointed out the potential consequences of my actions, warning of the strain it could place on my relationship with Lily. Their insights forced me to confront the possibility that my rigid stance could alienate my daughter and drive a wedge between us. As a parent, it's crucial to strike a balance between guiding our children and respecting their autonomy, especially as they navigate their own identities and expressions. Furthermore, the disparity in standards between my daughter and sons regarding clothing choices did not escape notice. This double standard raised valid concerns about gender equality and the messages we convey to our children about self-expression and societal expectations. It served as a sobering reminder of the need to examine my own biases and ensure fairness in my parenting approach. Shifting gears, the turmoil within my marriage exposed the complexities of mental health, familial influence, and personal accountability. My wife's struggles with postpartum depression plunged our relationship into turmoil, fueling mistrust, accusations, and ultimately, betrayal. Despite her subsequent diagnosis and treatment, the scars of her actions lingered, leaving me grappling with feelings of hurt and betrayal. Navigating this tumultuous period tested the limits of my patience and compassion. While I empathized with my wife's mental health struggles, I could not overlook the breach of trust inherent in her actions. The decision to proceed with divorce was not taken lightly, but stemmed from a fundamental belief in the importance of mutual respect and trust in a relationship. The challenges of postpartum recovery, coupled with the demands of raising 4 children, have taken a toll on my well-being. Following the birth of our daughter, I found myself grappling with hormonal fluctuations and mental health struggles that manifested in unexpected ways. A prescribed hormonal medication exacerbated my paranoia, leading me down a spiral of irrational fears and suspicions about my partner's fidelity. Living with postpartum depression only compounded my struggles, amplifying feelings of insecurity and anxiety to debilitating levels. Each day felt like an uphill battle, with even mundane tasks triggering overwhelming emotions and intrusive thoughts. My husband bore the brunt of my emotional turmoil, facing unwarranted accusations and irrational outbursts as I grappled with the distorted reality created by my condition. Reflecting on those dark days, I am filled with remorse for the person I became under the influence of medication and mental illness. The relentless cycle of paranoia and despair clouded my judgment, blurring the lines between reality and delusion. Despite recognizing the irrationality of my fears, I found myself unable to break free from their suffocating grip, perpetuating a cycle of mistrust and conflict within our marriage. However, it's essential to clarify the distinction between postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis, a point raised by concerned observers. While both conditions can manifest in paranoia and delusions, the severity and implications differ significantly. Postpartum psychosis, characterized by hallucinations and extreme paranoia, poses a grave risk to both the affected individual and those around them, necessitating urgent intervention and specialized care. In hindsight, the gravity of my mental health struggles becomes clearer, underscoring the urgent need for professional intervention and support. Despite my husband's efforts to navigate the tumultuous terrain of my illness, the gravity of the situation demanded a more comprehensive approach to treatment and management. Yet, amidst the chaos and confusion, opportunities for effective intervention slipped through the cracks, exacerbating the strain on our marriage and family dynamics. The anticipation of preparing shepherd's pie brought a rare sense of excitement and hunger, prompting me to share my plans with my husband. However, in my eagerness, I failed to explicitly communicate my intention to partake in the meal. This oversight may have contributed to the confusion and frustration that ensued when my mother-in-law unexpectedly joined us for dinner. As she casually took my place at the table and began serving herself, I was overwhelmed by a mix of shock and indignation. Caught off guard and unsure of how to react, I hesitated to assert my own needs and preferences in front of my children. My stepson's astute observation only added to my internal turmoil, highlighting the disconnect between my intentions and the reality of the situation. In the aftermath of the incident, my husband's attempt to diffuse the tension fell short, as I struggled to articulate my feelings in the heat of the moment. However, his reassurance and offer to share his meal underscored his willingness to support me, even amidst the chaos and misunderstanding. Yet beneath the surface lies a deeper issue, an underlying dynamic of familial boundaries and communication breakdowns. While my husband's gesture was well-intentioned, the lack of consultation or consideration for my preferences reflects a larger pattern of oversight and assumption within our family dynamics. Moving forward, it's imperative that we address these underlying issues and cultivate a culture of open communication and mutual respect. Whether through clearer communication or more mindful consideration of each other's needs, we must strive to create an environment where all voices are heard and valued. Ultimately, yesterday's dinner debacle serves as a reminder of the importance of empathy, understanding, and proactive communication within our family unit. By acknowledging our shortcomings and committing to growth, we can navigate future challenges with grace and unity, strengthening the bonds that hold us together. The aftermath of yesterday's dinner debacle left me feeling a mix of emotions: embarrassment, frustration, and a profound sense of gratitude towards my stepson's thoughtful gesture. His selfless act of generosity, offering me his plate so I could enjoy a hot meal, served as a poignant reminder of the love and compassion that exists within our family unit. However, his gesture also stirred feelings of inadequacy within me, prompting me to question my own role in the situation. In hindsight, I recognize that my failure to communicate my intentions effectively contributed to the confusion and frustration that ensued. While it's true that I rarely partake in hot meals, my text message expressing excitement over making shepherd's pie may have inadvertently raised expectations. Furthermore, the dynamics at play within our family, specifically my husband's reluctance to confront his mother's behavior, highlight deeper issues of communication and boundary setting. My mother-in-law's habit of prioritizing adults over children at mealtime reflects a fundamental disconnect in our values and priorities. While my husband may not share her perspective, his failure to address her behavior tacitly condones it, perpetuating a cycle of disrespect and frustration. As we navigate the aftermath of yesterday's events, it's crucial that we address these underlying issues head-on. Whether through clearer communication, boundary setting, or assertive confrontation, we must strive to create an environment where all members of our family feel heard, valued, and respected. In conclusion, while yesterday's dinner debacle may have highlighted areas for improvement within our family dynamic, it also served as a catalyst for deeper reflection and growth. By acknowledging our shortcomings and committing to positive change, we can foster a more harmonious and respectful environment for all. The aftermath of yesterday's dinner debacle left me feeling incredulous, to say the least. It's astonishing how my husband's actions manage to redefine cluelessness to a whole new level. It's like he's channeling his inner caveman instincts. In comparison, I often find myself wishing I could introduce him to my wife, just to showcase how civilized I appear in comparison. I mean, seriously, what was he thinking assuming that I was cooking enough for his mother? And let's not even get started on my mother-in-law's audacity to waltz in, help herself to a plate, and dig in without so much as a polite inquiry. It's a textbook example of rudeness. And frankly, it's downright disrespectful. That woman really needs a crash course in manners and etiquette. She's completely oblivious to the concept of boundaries, let alone the common decency to ask before helping herself to someone else's cooking. Imagine if the tables were turned and it was her receiving such treatment from her own mother-in-law. I have no doubt she'd go thermonuclear in an instant. Yet here she is, brazenly disregarding any semblance of courtesy or respect. And now, to add insult to injury, my husband is attempting to shift the blame onto me? Talk about gaslighting. It's baffling how he can't seem to comprehend that the entire scenario was a result of his own actions, or lack thereof. It's a classic case of being coddled as a child, perhaps, shielded from the consequences of his own obliviousness. But now, it's high time for a reality check. I can only hope that this ordeal serves as his come-to-Jesus moment and prompts a much-needed change for the better.